I ain't even do that intro right, so let's get it right. You feel what I'm saying? DriPPie's home, DriPPie's home, yeah. You already know this your boy DriPPie in the background, another banger. If you know vibe, sure like, comment, subscribe, show love, just do best reader. That's what I'm about to breath, man. Everybody get to this banger real quick, man. Just before I vote, man. About to head to the polls, but I just felt like I need to just give me a little, just a smidge bit of more information on who I'm going to be voting for. You feel what I'm saying? And I came across this video right here. Lara Trump leaves Charlemagne God speechless, and it's presented by 3 black guys. You feel what I'm saying? Now I don't know if they support him. I don't know if they're against it, but I know I'm going to get this information. Let's run it up, man.
The following program is rated TV MA. Viewer discretion is advised.
Donald Trump really was very beneficial to the black community when he was in the White House. I will say I've never...
Sorry, by the way, you know we got to plug the plug. I don't know if y'all saw that, but it's Cartier family. Yeah, let's drop that like too.
Never seen this man say a racist thing. I think the attacks are fairly... Why is that funny, Charlemagne?
I'm just laughing. It's hysterical. But I mean,
but no, Charlemagne,
because people act like
listen.
there's no such thing as Google, or we don't have TV, we don't have
What
radio.
is it that you think that he said?
When Mexico sends its people, they're not sending their best. They're bringing drugs, they're bringing crime, they're rapists.
This morning, a bitter backlash after President Trump referred to Haiti and African nations as S-hole countries during a meeting on immigration Thursday.
This remark by the President of the United States smacks of blatant racism.
Here's what I'll say. You know, this is a man who, as I said in the beginning, was beloved by so many people in this country. And he was friends with everybody.
A lot of celebrities.
Jesse Jackson, by the way.
I'm going to say this. People these days don't like to get offended. Like, people get offended for whatever their personal insecurities and want to avoid the truth. Like, that's how I feel right now. People get offended. They don't want to hear what the truth is. They want to hear everything sugar-coated. And like I said at the beginning, when I didn't like Trump, I really didn't. I didn't even vote for him the first time. He just tell it like it is, bro. And that's what we need these days, bro. Like, everybody doing all this stupid shit, this dumb shit, this fake shit. I keep hearing the cap. I see through the lies, bro. I literally see through the lies. The Democratic Party is not changing the economy by building houses, bro. That's not gonna help build the economy, bro. And also putting credits, $25,000 credit, bro. That shit been a thing, bro. It been a thing. FHA, first home buyers assistance, that been a thing, bro. It's state to state. It's not government wise. You feel what I'm saying? Let that $25,000 come from the government. The $25,000 that we used to get, it's not gonna be $25,000 no more. It's gonna inflate the market. It's gonna make a house even more expensive. And when somebody try to resells it, it's also gonna make it more expensive, meaning the house market is gonna go back up. You're gonna have new products in there, with meaning that everything in that house is gonna cost more. Everything, every material is inflated right now. So you go build a house with the material that it is right now, it's gonna cost more, and nobody wants to take a loss. Government gonna capitalize off those taxes. They're gonna capitalize off those variable rate loans, the variable rate taxes, and them inflated interest rates on the loans, bro. Bring the housing market back down to 2%, 3%. Then we could talk.
Please,
His Rainbow Coalition.
Black friends. That's not
my bad. One more thing, man. They talk like they know what they doing, and they try to finesse and finagle work around people who don't know what they doing. But if you look at the long run, and if you really do understand how shit works, then you realize, like, they're just capping, bro. Like,
no. He let them stay rent free in one of his buildings. The Rainbow Coalition, because he felt like at the time that was a very important thing. You can go pick apart somebody all you want. It is a traditional talking point to attack Republicans, to call them racist. But when you look at the things that he wants for this country, he wants every person to be successful. He wants Black Americans to be successful, Hispanic Americans to be successful, women to be successful. And he worked that way when he was in the White House. And whether you want to talk about actually funding in perpetuity historically Black colleges and universities, whether you want to talk about the First Step Act that allowed 30,000 nonviolent felons
up here with these
to
guys,
be
you feel what I'm
released
saying?
from prison, who the 1994 crime bill actually put in
Signed
prison.
by
These are things
Sorry,
that
quick
really...
pause.
Mr. Biden.
I didn't even know it was 30,000. I thought it was just 100
I didn't know how many it was, but
30?
That's a lot.
But isn't it funny that Joe Biden signed the crime bill, got them put in. He signed the First Step Act, got them out, but he's the racist one and he's not because that's what they told you to think.
First Step Act that allowed 30,000 nonviolent felons to be released from prison, who the 1994 crime bill actually put in prison. These are things that really have, I feel like, spoken to a lot of people, but more so than anything, the economy right now is such that I don't care who you are.
Yeah.
It is hurting you, and it is something that he wants to fix. He wants every American to have their shot at the American.
Yo, on some shit, I'm gonna keep it real. I didn't think she even talked like that. I thought she had like some kind of accent, and I didn't know she was also that attractive. She seems very elegant, very well spoken, very like strengthened in her steps, and she got the cross on her chest. I don't know.
American dream. And, you know, I hate that is the constant knee jerk is Donald Trump is a racist. Donald Trump is a racist. I can tell you he wants every person to be successful. He'll work for every American equally. He did that the first term when he was president, and he'll do it again.
Well, how do you ask Mexicans and Muslims to ignore a lot of the rhetoric, Haitians to ignore a lot of the rhetoric that he said about them that is dangerous, that has villainized them, that has demonized them?
Well, I would say anyone who's coming to this country illegally, he's very against, and every American should be very against. If you're an American citizen, Donald Trump doesn't care your religion. He doesn't care what you look like. He will work for you, and he wants to make this country safe for you. We should all want a secure southern border. A lot of the comments get misconstrued that he says about people coming here illegally. They're breaking our federal law to come here illegally.
Thanks.
And that should be upsetting to everyone.
But when you make these broad generalizations, you do hurt the Haitian Americans that are here, the Mexican Americans that are here. They all get labeled and villainized and demonized.
Yeah, but you know what? I think people are finally seeing through that. It's very easy to clip up something like that and say like, oh, let's push this out here.
Right.
When he's referencing these things, he's talking about people who are illegally in our country. He doesn't want us to have 350 people on the terror watch list here. There's a guy who was arrested the other day, an ISIS member who was arrested the other day, who had planned a November 5th election day attack on American citizens. ISIS was eradicated under Donald Trump. We did not even talk about it anymore.
I forgot about ISIS.
He got into the White House and he talked to his top military brass and he said, okay, you guys tell me, how long is it going to take to deal with ISIS? Because ISIS was a big threat. People were constantly talking about it, worried about terror attacks. And they said, sir, it's going to take us a couple years maybe. You know, we have to call the White House every time we want to have some big operation. And he said, how about this? You guys just go do whatever it is you need to do. You don't need to call me. You guys are the experts. I'm not a military expert. You take care of it and let's see what happens. 4 weeks, ISIS was gone. The fact that we're talking about ISIS back in the here in the United States of America, an ISIS member should terrify everybody. The open border.
So you want to know what it is? Trump really going to put in some work. You know what I'm saying? He's not just going to let it be a Democratic Republican House of Representatives thing. He gonna get his hands dirty, and that's why they don't want him in office, because he's gonna know things, he's gonna learn things, he's gonna expose things that they don't want them to expose. They want their presidents to either be puppets or blind eyes. You feel what I'm saying?
Border has been a disaster. So yeah, he's upset about it, and yes, he says things about people coming here illegally, and rightly so. And you and I, as American citizen, should be the ones absolutely infuriated that
they just want us to know surface level things.
Disaster. I feel like the border is a bipartisan issue, though, because the border has been terrible under multiple administrations.
Well, we had the lowest border crossings when Donald Trump was in the White House that we've ever had.
Oh,
yes, but I still feel like it's going to take some bipartisan legislation, to actually fix things at the border. You can't do executive orders.
No.
You can't do that.
Listen, I'm gonna put it like this: would you have 5 women do each individual job in the crib, or would you rather have 1 woman that could do every job that 5 women could do?
So how come they can't come to terms on that? And why did Donald Trump shoot down what they said was one of the most comprehensive bipartisan border bills that
if you actually read what was in there was like $60 billion for Ukraine. There were so many issues with that. It would allow $1.8 million illegal immigrants into our country a year. I mean, it was nonsense.
See, they thought that they was gonna get Laura on here.
And she had all the facts.
Yeah.
She had all the facts.
And she was gonna fall.
She said,
like
well,
her.
about that
That's
bill,
a
it was
woman.
gonna give $60 billion to Ukraine. Oh, First Step Act. Oh, 30,000 free black men. Oh, or not black men, but men. You know,
I'm trying to see
probably a lot
if they're
of
gonna
them were
fact
black.
check her. I'm waiting for the
Oh, yeah,
black
they're
girl.
gonna fact
I'm ready
check
for
her
the
for
black
sure.
girl on the right side.
Look, she got the Google up. Look, you see it in the corner. Look, she got the Google up. She said, "Is that
You know,
true?"
it was nonsense, honestly, Charlemagne. And we should all want a secure southern border. That's why Donald Trump built over 500 miles of border wall when he was in office. And, you know, I went down to the border wall and I saw it with my own eyes. I went down to Yuma, Arizona about a month ago.
Yeah.
And to
Like I
talk to the
said.
people in those communities,
Oh!
they say now.
I just cracked at the same time. Bro, like I said, bro, they going to be asking people to put in the work. They're going to put the people in the right place to put in the work. They're going to go front line and put in the work. The Democrats, they just represent shit. They not going to do shit. They just speaking on what they want the population to understand and what they want the population to know. You feel what I'm saying? They're going to keep it surface level damn near. No, Trump, they going to really get into that shit because they got the resources to get into that shit. They know that shit. They know the people that do that shit. They know that, you know what I'm saying? Why do you think Trump is able to keep peace with these countries? Biden can't do that. Trump literally can do that. He's that individual. Trump can't. Biden can't do that. He's just an individual. You feel what I'm saying? Let me say that again. Trump is that individual. Biden is just an individual. You feel what I'm saying?
Now every state is a border state because of this.
She is
The
searching.
people who live in Yuma, Arizona are being so negatively impacted. If you're a pregnant woman in Yuma, Arizona, they kind of say, you may not want to plan to have a baby in our hospitals here because they're so overrun taking care of people who cross the border. It's dangerous. They say a third of women are sexually assaulted. The people there told me it's probably closer to 50% who come up over the southern border. So it's terrible for them. But because of them having to take care of all the illegal migrants coming over, you can't even be assured you're going to have a place to deliver a baby in Yuma, Arizona. They say you're going to have to drive either 2 hours to San Diego or 3 hours north to Phoenix. And so having gone and seen it with my own eyes, I'll tell you the most infuriating part to me. You have this border wall that Donald Trump built, and then laying down on the ground where you have a wide open section are pieces of the border wall that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, because they campaigned and said, we will not build another foot of Donald Trump's border wall, it's laying on the ground. And there are people who come right through there. They could stand it up right now if they wanted to, but they won't do it. That is very frustrating, I think, to see right now that we paid for that. It's right there ready to go. And if they're not leaving it on the ground, then they're selling it for, you know, pennies on the dollar.
If the bipartisan border bill was so bad, like you say, how come so many Republicans were for it until Donald Trump intervened to say no?
I don't think Donald Trump intervened at all. He's not in an elected office right now, and
He literally told them not to do it.
How do you know?
I don't think that's true. But I also no.
You sitting here laughing.
Well, ask Donald
Were
Trump
you there?
yourself. Yeah, he will tell
Now, that's
you.
a good question. I wonder for you, how tough is it?
I'm about to say she the closest one to the man. This nigga questioning like he the man. Pause.
Having the last name Trump.
I knew Charlemagne was like that,
though.
though.
Ben
knew that.
You know you're the daughter-in-law. How hard is it for you to have to always answer questions about Donald Trump?
I praise you for this. I can tell you, growing up where I did, I would have never expected to have the last name Trump. I certainly would have never expected to be involved in all of this. And yeah, sometimes it's challenging, but I'll tell you, I really believe when history looks back on this man, this is a man who never needed this job. You have to think back, like we were talking about before, Donald Trump was beloved by so many. He really got involved in politics because he felt he could make a positive difference.
That's the problem. That's not the problem. That's the solution.
Would have had that first term in office and seen how much they fought against him and said, you know what, I'm not going to do this again. But he decided to come back and do it again.
Bullets.
They indicted him. Not once, but 4 times. Mugshot. Obviously, 2 assassination attempts. And this is a man who continues fighting for this country. And I will tell you, I'm incredibly proud to be his daughter-in-law. I'm incredibly proud to have the last name Trump. Does it come with its challenges? Because there is.
Okay. Run that back because I'm mistaken. That's his daughter. I'm tripping, chat. My bad. Oh, shit. I'm thinking that's his lady.
Does it come with its challenges? Because there is a lot of negative information out there about Donald Trump. Absolutely.
But for that to be the daughter, that speaks more than for it to be a daughter-in-law. That speaks more than for it to be the wife.
But I can't think of anything better that I could be doing right now than trying to fight
I forgot
for the future of this
his wife
country.
is
And
Ivanka.
I really
I'm
believe
sure. All right, we Gucci. This should be good. Just had to double check chat.
when people think about their life with Donald Trump in office and their life right now, they will always say, my life was better with him in office. And we should all want a great country. And that's what I want. I want it for my kids. I want it for everybody's kids and grandkids. And it's not just about right now, it's about the future of America.
You keep saying he had a lot of celebrity friends and they turned
He
on
sure
him.
did.
How does he feel about that? Because, in the 90s, the early 2000s, everybody was hanging with Donald Trump. They were mentioning
does
him
he
in
feel about
songs
that?
and going to his parties and all these events. But they all have turned. How does he feel about that? Do you know?
Is it because they got told to turn?
I think he knows what he's doing is so important right now. And to kind of finish my point, I think when history looks back on this man, he will truly go down as one of the greatest.
She said she's not answering that,
he
bro.
put so much on the line. Look, he's lost zeros off the back of his net worth. He's the only president to donate his salary every quarter. He came out of the White House with less money than he went in, and he does it because he loves this country, and he really does want to see us successful. We are the superpower of the world. That is such a huge deal, but things are going in the wrong way in a lot of different aspects. And I think one of the scariest things to him right now is nuclear war. He talks about it all the time, that it is a real possibility right now. You have Russia,
The biggest
you have
problem.
Iran, you have a lot of bad actors out there who are chomping at the bit. They saw the way we exited from Afghanistan. They see the weakness right now in this White House. And, you want a strong president because you want peace through strength. And that's what we had. He was the only president in 82 years not to have a new war under his leadership.
Now that
back.
what you just said just now about the nuclear war is something I agree with. I feel like there is too much casual conversation about nuclear war from a lot of different
the end of
world
the world,
leaders. And I don't think
literally.
we're discussing it enough.
Yeah.
That I agree with.
It's terrifying. and there are a lot of people out there right now who aren't even thinking about this. But imagine the United States gets into World War III, and we indeed would be sucked right into it. The people, our young men and women in this country are going to be sent overseas, and it is going to be horrific. And on top of that, it won't be like any war we have ever seen ever in the history of the world, because nuclear is absolutely terrifying. It would destroy the world.
It's going to last an hour.
Yeah.
It would be gone.
Yeah. No, it's very scary. And, people gave him you remember before when he was running in 2016, they were like, we can't give this guy the nuclear codes.
I agree with that, though.
They were saying that.
Even now to this point.
He was the only person, Charlemagne, not to get us into a new war. He was the one who got us the Abraham Accords, peace agreements that people said were impossible in the Middle East. So why is that? Why are you concerned about Donald Trump with the nuclear codes?
Did you see what he did on January 6th?
What did he do on
He
January?
got a little bit upset and used his words.
What words did he say, though?
The words that you said earlier.
Peacefully and patriotically make your voices heard.
And then what happened after that?
So how were his words actually contributing to that?
Because I think that for me, him being able to just push a button, hypothetically speaking, it's a little bit scary because we've seen he gets a little bit erratic when he wants to.
But he's been in office.
Nothing happened for 4 years.
Thank you.
in the White House.
She's
In fact,
good. She's good.
We had a peaceful world. We had a stable world. We had world leaders who were coming to the table to talk about issues like Kim Jong-un of North Korea, by the way. Obama, when he left the White House, told my father-in-law, he said, the biggest problem you're going to have is North Korea. It is going to be your biggest challenge. It's going to be the hardest thing you're going to have to deal with. And so Donald Trump said, all right, I'm going to try to see what we can do here, because we want to have a denuclearized Korean Peninsula. We do not want North Korea with a nuclear weapon. That is detrimental. I mean, talk about nuclear war. Mm-hmm. Can you imagine? Talk about a loose cannon, Kim Jong-un, really? And so he started trying to make contact with him, and he was the first president to walk across the DMZ and shake hands with the leader of North Korea to have conversations about getting rid of a possible nuclear weapon with North Korea. That is great for the world. Their world leaders did not even try it with Donald Trump because they knew he meant business. When he drew a line in the sand, he meant it. And the proof is in the pudding. So, you can say, oh, well, we're worried about this. You had 4 years. You had no new wars. You had peace agreements instead of wars breaking out.
First time in 82 years.
Look at it right now. It is a hornet's nest, and it is very scary, the trajectory from here to what could happen if you don't have the right leadership in the White
But it
House.
wasn't a peaceful transfer of power, and he did lead an insurrection.
Stop.
And I know you keep saying anything about the peaceful patriotic part, but he also
said offered National Guard troops to Nancy Pelosi. She didn't want to take it.
Thanks.
Look, here's what I
But
can
he also
tell
said
you.
we fight like hell.
And we fight.
For
we
America.
fight like hell, And if you don't fight like hell, you're not going to have a country anymore.
And if you don't fight like hell,
Okay, Charlemagne.
you're not going to have a country anymore.
Every politician, when you go out on the stump,
Even after he got shot at, which
about-
was terrible, first thing he did when he stood up was say, fight, 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 fight who?
He wants to keep fighting for this country. And you know, this is my father-in-law. I know things get
Charlemagne,
really
yo,
heated
he
when it
need to
comes
get
Donald Trump.
smacked,
People have
bro.
Very strong,
Not me. I have no emotion.
People have very strong feelings about this man.
Yes, you
But
do.
gosh, guys,
Yeah,
I can
ho.
tell you, he is not doing this
ho.
for any other reason
crazy.
than that he knows
He ain't
can do
even
the
a
job
hoe. Charlemagne ain't a hoe. Let me not say that. Like if I'm gonna be literally and how do you say analytically correct, he's more of a angry grumpy old man. You know what I'm saying? Who just don't believe in seeing the good and hope in people. Once you get this perspective.
Our narcissism.
He wants to save this country.
I always say it's two reasons people run for office. They're either extreme narcissists or they are actual civil servants.
Well, imagine having a great life. Imagine giving it all up. Imagine knowing that the very people who were applauding you, who invited you to all the fancy events,
Right.
who were some of your best friends, knowing, we just talked about this, they're going to turn their back on you. Imagine going through it one time and then saying, you know what, I got to come back and do it again because my work is not done here and I really believe I can do great things for this country.
Or you've gotten indicted so many times, that's your way to stay out of prison.
And you believe those are all
He could
legitimate.
get the lawyer and
I
fight
don't know
that
if they're
all day.
legitimate or not, but you know he has the charges. I mean that's up to for the courts to decide.
Is
But
it?
He started
be
running
convicted
before
of
the
34
charges
of them.
came.
I mean that's for the courts to decide. I don't, it's not my place to say
We
whether
all
it's
know
legitimate
that
or
if
not.
his name was not Donald Trump, none of that would have ever seen the light of day.
And she did really, really good on.
I like her.
She can
I
debate
didn't know
a
she
little
was
bit.
like this.
Remember
I'm
we found
saying.
out.
Y'all didn't hear her
Plus
on the
she get
stage.
on
Y'all
off.
didn't hear her on the
Killing
stage.
Kamala.
She did, yeah.
Y'all ain't see her on the stage with Beanie. She was on the stage right before us.
Well, I just like how
does.
she stuck to all them points.
At the RNC.
Oh, she did? She was?
She was on stage.
She,
yeah,
I said,
She like that.
I said that's Laura. And
No,
she
she
said,
like that.
hey.
I don't
She's like
remember.
that. She is like
But
that.
she cooked.
Hey, I didn't. Hey, she gave them a spanking. And
That
the
was
fact
nice.
that some people in the comments, the comments is hating so bad.
Oh, you already know, boy. You
They
already
said,
know.
y'all just let her come here and spew lies. What is lies about? I mean, but like, okay,
She
but that's
came
the
with
thing
stats.
is, though, maybe these people are really dumb because like all the clips they pull up, if you put that in a different context. Then you could be like, I can say, these people are just idiots.
Like saying fight, they think they merely mean go get a gun and go out. Nobody
Fight.
Come on now.
Yeah.
No,
So,
everyone knows.
do they believe
that's-
Kamala's going to protect us more within the world standard?
I don't. Bro,
There's no way.
I think they
There's
know
no
that
way
Trump
people
can
can't
do
believe
better.
that.
I think they just think that he.
No,
might
they gonna
serve a
fold.
third term and he
She'll
gonna
And they
fold.
it's crazy how we're like, okay, nuclear war is the biggest threat to everyone's safety in the world, but they're like, well, what about January 6th?
Are you
Stupid.
kidding? The transfer of power. See, that's what they're worried about is that third term, brother. That's what they're fear mongering.
They're not actually worried about that. They know that according to the U.S. Constitution
Well,
and
that-
every other president in history,
Abortion.
that can't happen.
He already messed up the Constitution with abortion. He can
Oh,
do
did
it
he?
again.
Oh, did he? We listened to the states, and the Supreme Court came and made a decision about that.
I ain't
That's what
gonna
happens in the
lie.
United States, and that's also in the Constitution. That if the Constitution they think there's something not good in it, they go to the Supreme
No, I
Court
ain't
and
gonna
they
lie.
review it.
I read something. They said abortion wasn't completely a part of the Constitution. It's like a certain part that said it wasn't a part of the
And it was always
Constitution.
borderline because I remember there was times I think back in the day where it was illegal and people just did them under the table. So it's like I ain't gonna lie, even making it illegal, people.
If you gonna allow illegal immigrants, then we gonna allow illegal activities.
People still
Like
doing
what?
Table, so
No, you
that's
can't.
neither here nor
The
there.
best option is leave it up to the states.
leave it up to the states.
I don't know how
Leave
they
it
even
to the
argued that.
states.
No. Laura grilled
I ain't gonna
them
lie.
bad, and that was 10 minutes.
It's three
Leave it up to the
wars,
states.
wars going on. Y'all really trying to tell me? Y'all really trying to tell me?
That was a great point. They said when she
I
was
am
like, the
concerned.
illegals are taking up the hospitals in Arizona, so people have had to drive 3 hours to have babies. Oh, reproductive rights. Oh, do they matter now? What about in this case? Do they matter now? Do reproductive rights matter when they're trying to have the baby, or only when they're trying to abort it?
Laura gave him a spanking, guys.
This literally was no wars on this. Man.
Under Kamala Harris's plan, no one making less than $400,000 would pay a penny more in taxes.
What they say? I need to watch that ad back, man, cause they be really spewing lies though. Like these advertisements, they be spewing lies. Earlier today, I'm gonna leave on this note. Earlier today, I was watching this thing, and it said, yeah, we doing these satellite panels, da 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 da. We are installing them, da 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 da. And before you get a 25% discount on your initial payment to make the satellite. Now we're giving you more money to get these sunroofing, right? The sun panels, the energy sun panels, right? We'll give you a 30% discount this time around instead of 25. Well, if you really look at it, the way that inflation's they've been doing that shit, right? They've been doing the panels, right? But before it wasn't as expensive as it is now. Now even with the tax credit, it still costs maybe more. Even with that tax credit, it still costs more to put the panels on a roof because inflation's going up. So you're not really putting any money in anybody's pocket or helping anybody save money. You're just encouraging the services of it while not even profiting, but while banking on more. And that's just the inflation. That's not the problem. Isn't y'all giving more money? Y'all granting people more money. No, the problem is that there's money that people there's too much money in the flotation that people cannot handle. You feel what I'm saying? It's going in all the wrong places to help stabilize the amount and where it really initially needs to be. It's complicated, but it's really not complicated when you really see it through. Don't look surface level. Look a little deeper into it. You feel what I'm saying? Hope you enjoyed this stream, man. I'm about to go out to vote. I'm confident in my vote. Let's make it happen, babe. Y'all see the pic. Hello?